The NFL Combine is now in full swing, and we got some very interesting information when it comes to the Chicago Bears and the Denver Broncos and what their plans are for top Steelers quarterback targets, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, respectively. We'll be talking about what we learned about what the Steelers could be interested in, all these different things when it comes to these two quarterbacks. But first, I do want to address something where Omar Khan, the Steelers GM, was supposed to be on the show today. We were supposed to put an interview up on the channel today of his immediate media availability today at the Combine, but unfortunately, there's been a death in the Khan family, so unfortunately, Omar did not talk with the media today, which of course includes us, so that's why we're not talking about the Omar Khan interview today, and instead we're going to be going into quarterback rumors. Our thoughts and our prayers are definitely with Omar Khan and his family as they go through this time of mourning. All right, so now let's transition into today's rumors, which really do center around the quarterback position, and really the number one name atop Steelers Twitter right now, everybody's talking about it, is a potential trade for Justin Fields. And we learned some very valuable information from the Chicago Bears in terms of what they're kind of feeling about their quarterback situation, what that means for a Fields trade moving forward. This is the Bears GM, Ryan Poles, on what is going to come next year for Justin Fields. It just depends on what opportunities pop up. I will say this, I think you guys know me well enough. If we do go down that road, meaning trading Fields, I want to do right by Justin as well. No one wants to live in the gray. I know that's uncomfortable. Now, some people have taken this quote and they're like, oh my gosh, that means he's definitely going to the Steelers because the Steelers are the best team that's potentially going to trade for Justin Fields, and he wants to send him to a good team. That's not what Poles means here. What he means in terms of giving him a concrete answer here is that he just wants to give him an answer quickly, all right? It's not necessarily about sending him to a good football team. It's more about just giving him some clarity of where he's going to be playing football next year, and that's just kind of where Ryan Poles' head at is right now. So expect a deal to get done quickly, if not to the Steelers, then to somewhere else. Now, another thing that's been popping around on Bears Twitter and all these different things that's been talked about lately and what their plans are with the number one overall pick, Peter King from NBC Sports thinks that they're going to trade the number one overall pick and keep Justin Fields. This is what he has to say. I suppose the Bears are going to trade the top pick. I know nothing, but that seems to be the way the wind is blowing. What I say, the Bears could keep Justin Fields and should, and trade the first pick down once or twice and build the kind of supporting cast a team needs to contend. Now, listen, the thing that I will say about this is that Peter King is very well connected with the Chicago Bears. He's good friends with Ryan Poles. He called the Carolina Panthers trade weeks in advance, actually around this time last year. So he definitely has those connections. But like Peter King himself says in this quote and in that article that people are talking about here, he says he knows nothing, all right? So I don't want to read too much into that. And really, when you go into the people in Chicago that are connected and really know the things that are going on there, like Ben Devine, for example, he says the odds are quite high that the winds are blowing so that teams put their best offer for Justin Fields in soon, which essentially means the Bears are going to collect all the teams that are interested here within the next couple of days at the NFL Combine and say, give us your last best offer, and then they're going to pick the team with the highest bid, essentially. So that's what the Bears are thinking right now, and I believe Ben Devine is one of the most connected people in the city of Chicago when it comes to the Chicago Bears. So this is definitely somebody that I think you should listen to as opposed to Peter King, who admits himself that he doesn't know anything. So now there's another report that just came out today that the Falcons, Raiders, and Steelers have all expressed their interest in trading for Justin Fields. That comes from Tyler Dragon from USA Today. And there's definitely more and more smoke piling onto the fire here that the Steelers are, in fact, interested in trading for Justin Fields. Now, I will point out right now, NFL notifications, definitely not the most reliable source, and they don't quote their source in this post. But this is another Twitter post that came out earlier today. The Steelers have offered the Bears their round 2 pick, number 51 overall, as well as some additional later round picks for Justin Fields. However, the Bears currently want the Steelers' first round pick, number 20 overall. In return, Deontay Johnson is also a name that has been brought up in talks. Now, I definitely think it's possible, guys, that Deontay is kind of the key to making this deal work, because I don't think Chicago is going to take just a second-round pick, and I don't think Pittsburgh is going to give up their first-rounder, all right? They didn't give up their first-rounder for Jalen Johnson at the trade deadline. I don't think they're going to pull that trigger for Fields either. So a potential trade could look like this. You could get Deontay Johnson, who many Steelers fans want out of the building. Regardless, he's not necessarily a great fit for Arthur Smith's system, in my opinion, because he doesn't have the run blocking that Arthur Smith traditionally likes in his wide receivers. You add on top of that one of your fourth-round picks this year. You have two back-to-back, 120 and 121. Let's give him 121 in this scenario. And then, boom, we can get Justin Fields in the building to replace Kenny Pickett in exchange for Deontay Johnson, a guy in his last year in his contract, no longer a fit, all these different things, and a fourth-round pick. This way the Steelers get their quarterback. They don't have to give up a bunch of high draft capital, and the Bears get a really good route-running wide receiver to pair with DJ Moore, as well as another pretty decent draft pick there in the fourth round. So personally, guys, my prediction is I think that he's going to get traded, Fields. I do think that Caleb Williams is going to be the pick for Chicago. I don't necessarily buy the Peter King narrative here that they're going to trade down and keep Fields. But I just don't know where he's going to land. I don't know if the Steelers are going to be willing to pull the trigger. I don't know what Chicago is asking for, and I don't know the other teams that are interested. So right now there's too many unknowns to really make a concrete prediction. But for me, guys, if I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers and I can get Justin Fields for a pretty decent price, I'm absolutely pulling that trigger, because I do not think Kenny Pickett can be the quarterback here in 2024. Now, let me know down there in the comment section, where will Justin Fields play football in 2024? Let me know down there in the comment section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know where Justin Fields is going to be playing in 2024. Now, coming up here, we're going to shift from the rumors surrounding Justin Fields to the rumors surrounding Russell Wilson, because those are starting to heat up as well. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at PrizePicks. And football season may be over, folks, but the action on the floor when it comes to basketball, both collegiate and pro, is just heating up. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of the year every single day. Get in on the excitement with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash today. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the U.S. So you might be asking yourselves, how does this work, Jack? Well, here's how you play. Pick 2 to 6 players, and if they'll go for more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can even win up to 25 times your money on any entry. You can see my entry for tonight's action. I'm going to take the less on Andrew Wiggins points there with 13.5. I'm going to take the more with Draymond Green assists at 5.5. And then I'll take the less on Kyrie Irving rebounds at 4.5. So with PrizePicks, it takes less than 60 seconds to make your pick, so you can get started right now. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with our friends at PrizePicks. So now let's go over kind of the stuff that I took away from both George Paton, the GM of the Broncos, and then Sean Payton, the head coach of Denver as well. They had a lot of things to say. I'm boiling it down to the gist here, okay? So number one, there's no trade interest in Russell Wilson. Neither Sean Payton nor their GM there in Denver has gotten any call regarding a trade for Russell Wilson. And the reasoning for that is simple. The contract is simply too lucrative. Nobody wants that contract, so a trade is definitely not going to happen. Number two takeaway. Decision will be made within the next 2 weeks. And the reasoning for this is that when the new league year kicks in, things really get difficult for the Denver Broncos, and that kicks in even more guaranteed money on Russell Wilson's contract that they likely don't want to pay unless they want him to be their quarterback for the next 2 seasons. This is what head coach Sean Payton had to say about Russell Wilson and his future with the team. I expect that what we're going to know fairly quickly, somewhere in the neighborhood next week. There's a couple of factors here. Obviously, the cap projections came out. We're further down the road with the draft class. So I would anticipate it being within the next 2 weeks. And when you look at the contract situation right now, okay, so pretty much the way it works as we speak, Russell is already guaranteed $39 million no matter what in 2024 by the Denver Broncos. However, if he's still on the roster on March 17th, $37 more million gets added on guaranteed due to 2025 salary. So he needs to be cut by that date, or else the Broncos will also be on the hook for that extra $37 million. If he's on the roster by March 17th, he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, at least for another season. But if he's cut, a big thing to note here is that I do think it's going to be a post-June 1st designation, and it really has to be, because if they cut him pre-June 1st, it's like $87 million in a dead cap hit for next year. There's just no way they're not going to do the post-June 1st designation and bump that down to, I believe it's like $37 or $36 million, all right? So I really do think that the Broncos are going to move on. Sean Payton even said at times today that the next quarterback can't be a failure like the other ones have been here in Denver. He's talking about Russell Wilson and his time in Denver like it's in the past and not in the present or in the future, which definitely tells me that they want a clean slate at the quarterback position, and Russell Wilson is going to be available. Now go ahead right now, guys, click that thumbs up icon if you want more Steelers quarterback content here as we get closer and closer to a potential decision from the black and gold to potentially replace Kenny Pickett as the starting quarterback of this team in 2024. For the latest updates, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you are a real one. So now let's talk about two very big name people in sports media here that have endorsed Russell Wilson coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. I'm talking about Colin Cowherd, who's usually a clown, okay? I'm just going to say that right now, and then Stephen A. Smith, who is a Steelers fan himself. So let's start with what Colin Cowherd had to say about the fit between Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what he said on The Herd yesterday. I thought Justin Fields at quarterback was a bad fit in Pittsburgh. Why? He's not a refined quarterback. He's not efficient. Russell Wilson is refined. He wins. He's efficient. He's accurate. He's a defined player. We know what he is. He's not in his prime, but he is not that far past it. The Steelers, frankly, on offense could use his commitment, could use his maturity, could use his experience, and could use his accuracy. If you're going to go up against Mahomes and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, stop convincing yourself Kenny Pickett's the guy. You got to have a playmaker back there. And I 100% agree with Colin Cowherd on this, and I cannot believe I am agreeing with this guy 100% on something, all right? But all the points that he makes are 100% valid, man. All the quarterback talent in this conference is so immense. You're really going to throw Kenny Pickett out there and say, all right, go out and beat Patrick Mahomes, go out and beat Josh Allen, win Super Bowls against Joe Burrow. I just don't see it happening, and it seems like everybody else sees it as well, including Stephen A. Smith, who had this to say about a potential pairing between Russ and the Steelers. If you've got a guy like Russell Wilson, who's not going to turn the football over, who still has the ability to extend plays, who can throw with accuracy, particularly with the deep ball, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, look, man, beggars can't be choosy. Look at what the hell you have. When I think about the Pittsburgh Steelers and I'm thinking about Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow within your own division, you cannot go into next season with Kenny Pickett zeroed in as your likely starter. It just cannot happen. So once again, I think Stephen A. Smith is 100% spot on, all right? Kenny Pickett, it would kind of be one thing if the Steelers were still rebuilding, if they really didn't have a shot at a title, they didn't have a Super Bowl ready roster. But listen, man, I think this defense is great. I think this offensive line is getting better. You already have a great collection of weapons here in Pittsburgh, and with the right quarterback, this team could 100% compete for a title, in my opinion, which is one of the biggest reasons why we just can't wait around for Kenny Pickett to just miraculously show up and be a good quarterback. I just don't see it happening. And then you look at Russell Wilson, he's got the 8th lowest interception percentage in NFL history, all right? So for all these people out there saying, well, we should keep Kenny Pickett because he protects the football, guess what? Russell Wilson does that too, all right? He's only had one season in his entire career with more than 12 interceptions, all right? He's had 11 interceptions a couple times. He had 13 interceptions one time. That was the most he's ever had, okay? So this guy protects the football like nobody else, and then also he gets the ball into the end zone. The other thing Kenny Pickett just simply cannot do, all right? So Wilson, 5.8 touchdown percentage last year in 2023. That was top 5 in the National Football League. So I don't want to hear these narratives out there that Russell Wilson is cooked or that he stinks or that he can't play football and his time is completely past him. It's just not true. Russell Wilson, I mean, this is everything that he brings to the table here if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not only the most affordable option, which gives you more opportunities in free agency because you can sign him for the vet minimum, but he's also got the playoff and Super Bowl experience that you're looking for. Justin Fields does not bring that to the table as much as I'd like him over Kenny Pickett. He's also an all-time clutch performer, top 10 in both game-winning drives and fourth-quarter comebacks in NFL history. Also, top 5 in on-target percentage, so he's extremely accurate with the football. He's got a great deep ball to pair with George Pickens. And then not only that, but he's got the playmaking ability. He can move. He can extend plays. He protects the football better than just about any other quarterback in NFL history. And then I know his leadership and his quote-unquote ego get a bad rap, but I know he's cringy. I know he's a corn fuck, all right? But this guy is a great leader, and people respect the hell out of him in the locker room. So to me, Russell Wilson is clearly the best option for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the quarterback position this offseason. It's not even close. All right, he's got comparable numbers to Kirk Cousins, but instead of paying a Kirk Cousins type salary, $35, $40 million a year, you can get Russell Wilson for the vet minimum. What is there to not like with Russell Wilson? I don't understand it. And, I'm okay with Justin Fields if they want to trade for Fields. But honestly, guys, my number one choice, and frankly, it's not even close, is Russell Wilson to the Steelers. I think he gives us the best shot. Now, let me know down there in the comment section down there, which quarterback do you think gives the Steelers the best shot to win the Super Bowl in 2024? Let me know down there in the comment section. Type RW for Russell Wilson, JF for Justin Fields, KP for Kenny Pickett, or O for other, and let me know which quarterback not listed here you think would give them the best overall chance to win the Super Bowl. And another thing to keep in mind here when it comes to bringing in a quarterback for 2024 is that Cam Hayward, one of the all-time great Steelers, is likely going to be in his last season in the National Football League next year, according to Jerry Dulac, all right? So if you don't want to win it for anything else, go ahead and get a quarterback to try to win next year for Cam Hayward, all right? So that's my focus right now. We have the roster to win now. Cam Hayward's only got 1 year left before he probably retires. I want to go chase this thing now, and I think Russell Wilson on that vet minimum contract does that for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think that's got to be the move for them this offseason. All right, that's going to be it for today's show, guys. I know it's a little bit of a longer one today, but if you are a real one and you stuck with me here to the very end, make sure you type real one in all caps down there in the comments section to identify yourselves. I really do appreciate all of your support, guys. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button because if they trade for Justin Fields, we're going to be going live this week. We're going to have a bunch of great content for you guys at the NFL Combine as well. So make sure you guys get access to all that great content and never miss a thing by clicking that subscribe button right now.